Hello, my name is Melissa Larcon. I am an international relations student, and in today's assignment, I'm going to be answering a few questions about the contemporary debates in the international political economy. For the first question, we have: should we support the claim that a hegemon is needed in order to create a liberal world economy? Those who support the claim argue that a hegemon is needed to provide public goods, such as security and stability. They also say that a hegemon can use its power to enforce rules and norms that promote free trade and open markets. However, others say otherwise. They suggest that once international institutions are established, they have their own staying power and can promote further cooperation even in the absence of a dominant power. They also point out that a hegemon may be more focused on its own interests than on promoting a liberal world economy, and that its actions can sometimes have negative consequences to other states. Moving on to the second question, it says: is the United States currently an altruistic or a predatory hegemon? Some argue that the US is still a hegemon that maintains a liberal world order and promotes economic openness and cooperation, while others argue that the US has become more focused on its own national interests and has adopted protectionist measures and also has been accused of acting in its own interests at the expense of other states. And I think it's important to point out that the US has played a key role in maintaining the international institutions, such as the IMF, the World Bank, and the WTO. Question number 3 says: what is soft power and which countries have it? I hope I'm saying it correctly. Joseph Nye Jr. made a strong concept, and I quote: a country may obtain the outcomes it wants in world politics because other countries want to follow it, admiring its values, emulating its example, aspiring to its level of prosperity and openness. In this sense, it is just as important to set the agenda in world politics and attract others as it is to force them to change through the threat or use of military or economic weapons. This aspect of power, getting others to want what you want, I call soft power. Some of the countries that are considered of having high levels of soft power are United States, the United Kingdom, Japan, France, Germany, Canada, and Australia. These countries have cultural and economic resources that are attractive to people in other countries. Next question says: define the development problem in the developing world and discuss how it should be analyzed and which theory is most helpful. Is the challenge of achieving sustainable economic growth, reducing poverty, and improving the standard of living for the population. The neoclassical theory, the rational choice theory, and economic liberalism have been criticized for their limited focus on economic growth and their failure to address social and environmental factors that contribute to the development challenges. Mercantilism, on the other hand, is an outdated theory that emphasizes protectionism and trade barriers, which can limit economic growth and development. There is no single theory that can be considered as the best approach to fighting development problems in the developing world. And the effectiveness of any approach depends on the specific context and situation. Next question says: can the development problem be solved? There is no simple solution to it. Development is a continuous process, and progress can be made through efforts by governments, international organizations, and local communities. And the success of these efforts depends on many factors, including political stability, access to education and healthcare, infrastructure development, and economic policies. Moving on to the next question: what is economic globalization? What are the benefits and drawbacks of economic globalization? And what are the implications for sovereign statehood? Globalization is the spread and intensification of economic, social, and cultural relations across international borders. The benefits of economic globalization include increased economic growth, productivity, innovation, and job creation. It can also lead to lower prices and can provide developing countries with access to new markets, technology, and investments. However, economic globalization also has drawbacks, including increased inequality within and between countries, as well as negative social and environmental impacts. It can also lead to job loss and wage in certain sectors. The implications for sovereign statehood are complex. On one hand, economic globalization can limit the ability of national governments to control their own economies and regulate the actions of multinational corporations. On the other hand, economic globalization can also create new opportunities for states to shape their economic policies and participate in international economic institutions such as the World Trade Organization and or the International Monetary Fund. Final question says, think of one or two research projects based on IPE theory. For number one, we have the impact of financial globalization on national economic policies. This research project could examine how financial globalization has affected the ability of national governments to pursue independent economic policies. The project could draw on IPE theories such as neoliberalism and Marxist approaches. Number two, we have the effects of trade liberalization on income inequality. This research project will use IPE theory to analyze the impact of trade liberalization on income inequality within and across countries.